Welcome back everyone for the next part of Limbus Company. It's finally time. Season 6 is here. Hong Lu is here. And from the picture I can already say one thing for sure. This is going to be quite painful for the boy. He's already piercing his ego, covered in blood, in guts, and everything else. Yeah, this is going to be a wholesome family reunion. I can't wait. This is going to be fun. I can promise you that. This is going to be a lot of fun. The surrendered witnessing. Hong Lu, it's going to be a-okay. There's absolutely nothing for you to worry about. This family reunion is going to be wholesome, covered in red, but maybe it's just cherry blossoms, right? The trailer showed cherry blossoms. It doesn't have to be bad. And your sister's by your side and all the sinners as well. It's all gonna be a-okay. God. The homeward bound. And we're going to have a fight in the very first chapter. Oh, that is rare. Usually they always start with a story, but not this time! A family reunion needs to start with a clash, huh? This is the only proper way for gentlemen to greet each other, right? This is the only proper way. Alright then. Wait, I need to swap back to the story. Do I need to change anything around here? Not really. Alright then. Let us start. Flowers wilt. Petals fall, a drizzle of blossom scum plotting. Colors fade, fragrant dies, but who shall mourn their passing? To the garden I go, in hand a flower rack, only to paint, less crush the scattered blossom I make. Thus, in this troubled world, I breathe. To shut my eyes is my sole reprise. Okay. Is that the granny? Oh, that has to be the granny. The Hayek of Hong Yong. Yeah, moo. And we're already in the estate. The banquet hall. Alright, that's fine. I always love to crush a party. Little by you must have walked and toiled tirelessly on your journey home. Well, I wouldn't really say I suffered much, grandmother. My days were always filled with new and interesting things to see. That's true. What are they even talking about over there? They're sitting so far apart that I can hardly hear them. I mean, is this even a dining table to begin with? I can't even see who's sitting at the other end from here. Is there anything bothering you, my dear guest? If this humble servant can help with any... Oh yeah, there's something bothering me, alright? We're in the middle of a meal. Can you please stop, guys? Nope, nothing at all. Nothing is bothering us at all. Everything is a-okay. Why are you so worried, Sinclair? Who's that? Lady Wang. Now, Bayu, my boy, when will you introduce me to your new friends? This boy? Her boy? Oh boy. I never knew how to act in front of other parents! Oh, was that his mother? I see. Now where should I look? Is this an appropriate size for a polite smile? I hope I don't come off as too swarmy or... It's nothing to fuss about. Think of this as your own place and enjoy your time here. Oh, thanks, yeah. But phew, this place is so huge that I can hardly relax. I'm worried that I might get lost going out for a cup of water. Oh, don't worry. We have stray people shelters located all around the house for that. Our servants visit them once a month to collect anyone who's unfortunately got lost. If, you know, they're still alive, that is. What? You have shelters in your own home? For the people who got lost? How big is this place? Honglu, that has to be the funniest joke you ever told, right? Oh, I wasn't joking about that, but I'm glad that you enjoyed it anyways. Well, I must ask, Honglu, for I spy no other sibling of yours here. This is quite odd, for I had thought that this was supposed to be a welcoming party for your return, and... Hey! It's my welcoming party too, guys! Of course, Xingxun. And besides, what makes you think that we ever want to see their stupid faces? Just to get mad? It's been like 10 whole years since we even shared a meal together. Oh, and don't even think about trying to shut me up. Did you already forget what I said earlier? There's nothing between us anymore. Now we are enemies. Oh, come on now. Did we initiate the conversation though? Oh, I'm simply so glad that my son, Bao Yu, has returned as a man who can now more than carry his own weight, and unharmed too. So, dear Bao Yu, I don't mean to rush, but when are you planning to depart again? What? Nothing has been decided yet, mother. Is she trying to push him away? I see. I am simply concerned that were you to stay to be prolonged, perhaps you might fade before your duties are complete. Do you not agree, Venerable Yamyu? Indeed. Dear Bao Yu, our peerless treasure, tarry not over long in this mundane world. Leave when the time is right, and fulfill your worth. Hmm? Okay, grandmother and mother. Hmm? Throughout the entire familiar discussion, Honglui's expression remains the same, in that tranquil, that petulant smile. Despite his return after years of wandering, being met with the family's obvious push to make him leave as soon as possible, he stands unaffected, as though he were expecting the scowly yet hollow welcome. Wow. I mean, if it is for his own sake to keep him safe, I would understand that, but come on, it's been years! At least let him stay for a night. And with his attitudes being so passive, I also had no choice but to watch as a bystander. A few hours ago. Hmm? Well, the pelican will be here soon. A pelican? Whoa, so cool! That sure sounds like a fancy ride. Isn't it just super great? What is a pelican? Oh yeah, Saudi! Are we getting to go into a pelican or whatever it's called to give us a ride all the way to the mansion? The usual comedy pair's desperate efforts to lighten the mood are particularly appreciated today, as tragically ineffective as they seem to be. Yes, the LCB and Jia Xingshu will be heading to... What is that? Grandview Garden. Dangyu... What? Translation error? Weird. Anyways, where one of the most prominent families of H-Corp resides. Well, if they send a whole palanquin to pick us up... Huh? Wait, does Honglu's family already know that he'll be participating in the family's hierarchy war? No, it is unlikely that they are aware. After all, it can be assumed that the most likely reason that the company waited until the last minute to relay us this order was to minimize the chances of any sort of information leakage. Therefore, it would be correct to presume that the palanquin is here merely as a gesture of welcoming Honglu and Jia Qingshu's return. Which means that only the invited Honglu, Jia Qingshu, and their faction can ride the palanquin to Dang Guangzhuang. Unfortunately, that means that the LCCB, Virgilus, and Sharon won't be able to join you on your journey. Oh, well that's too bad. It would have been nice if we could all go there together. That's true. Just as petty as I expected from the senior of our family. Would it kill them to house a handful more people in that humongous park of a house? It's not like they will be noticing the difference, right? Oh my, how touching! Looks like Miss Young-Chu thinks she's missing us too, huh? What a thing to say to my face after that shameless backstabbing that you guys did to me! I mean, they're not really responsible for that. It was a decision from the company, right? They're just following orders. I mean, do any of you even comprehend what it means to participate in this war? No? Do you even understand why I call it a war to begin with, when the official name for it is evaluation? You're risking your life by getting involved in this. Once you get in there, you'll be stalked by every turn by people looking for a chance to kill you, and that includes me. True. Remember how Vi saved your life back at the fake center? Now imagine the same scenario, except this time, it could be Vi who's there to kill you instead. Well, I must say ahead of time that this is truly a regrettable turn of events. I did not wish to have to fight any of you, but Vi looked at us with an unfamiliar and cold, intense glare. Well, I guess we feel very much the same way, so looks like we're on the same page there. Maybe we can stall for that for the very end, right? We don't really have to fight against each other from the start. We could be allies until then, wouldn't we? That means that I'm also fair game. You could stab me in the back at any second now. Literally, this time and... Huh? No, never! I wouldn't even dream of doing something like... Ya Xingqiu ignored Sinclair's anxious plea and looked straight towards Honglu. This could be the last chance to change your mind, brother. I didn't invite you to join my faction with a light of heart. Besides, it's the family hierarchy war. This isn't something that you can just flippantly decide that you want to participate, and I know the life that you lived, Xingqiu. I also grew up hearing those countless tales about the family hierarchy war, just as much as you did. So the way that we're feeling must be the same. Right, so this is where our tenacious ally is really going to end. Well, not like I care. I guess I did drag on a little too long for a temporary alliance forging out of convenience. We are just going back to how things used to be. That's all, right? And that's fine by me. I think that's enough chit-chat with you then. Okay, if that is what you want. Oh, and Xingqiu, what? Please don't tell the family that I'll be participating, will you? I was told to keep this a secret for now, and... Tell me one reason why I should do such a favor to you now. For someone who supposedly doesn't care, Xingqiu appears rather hurt as she took a moment to glare at Honglu, biting her lower lip. Then suddenly strutted right up to him. Is this even your call, brother? Or are you just following their orders? Jia Xingqiu gestured toward the rest of us with a chin. I guess my participation in the family archetype is already decided. If you're still curious to know why, then... Xingqiu, do you believe that my choice carry any significant meaning? Oh, I see what's up. This crap again, huh? You already know what participating in the war really means, but you just have no idea why I didn't ask something like that, huh? Fine, looks like I don't even need to hear your reply. There's no point in trying with you anymore. At least I'll have fun watching how far you will get with that shallow, meaningless attitude of yours and... Hey, wait. Ya Xingqiu appeared pretty distressed after the exchange, so I was about to say something when Pilot, who had been fiddling with the radio behind Saudi, began shouting urgently. Whoa, Manager Saudi! A pelican's been seen coming this way, and guess we're running out of time. I would like to chill a bit more today. Yesterday was just too tough, but let's head on over so that we can at least relax on the way there and Nope, we are taking this one, alright? You never think twice about giving things up to another anyways, do you, Prada? Huh? What's this about now? Come on, let's do this fair and square like a rock, paper, scissors, right? Wow, sure, why don't you just decide the next high-end with a game of rock, paper, scissors too, huh? How about that? What is up with her? She gave us a wry smile before leaving. Vi followed her wordlessly. Boy, and I thought we were finally making some friends out here. But that didn't last. Who's that now? Hong Yong. Look over there. There's a group waiting for a palanquin. One of them must be a candidate for the client has told us about. Client? Everyone, there's a group of hostile-looking people coming our way. Shishua is unlikely to be the one who's going after the other candidates. Executive Manager, we best take care of them before the next palanquin arrives. Alright then, what can we do, right? We don't have a choice here. It's always the same around here. Once they pick a fight, we need to crush them. And this time around, we have... I can't even tell from which fraction they belong to. Not a name, no nothing, just stranger, huh? They come with bleed and tremor though. Gain 3 shield for every negative type afflicted on self. Are you guys capable of self-tremoring you? Tremor count doesn't seem like it, and I don't quite understand how the shield is gonna work. But well, it's fine. You guys have any sort of passives? Hit a target, gain attack power next turn. If the target is on new, extra clash power next turn. I see. Lose 5 SP and clash power when staggered, fragile next turn. So if we stagger them, they're going to die extremely quickly. And now that I think about it, maybe I should change my formation a little. At the very least, I should wait a second. 7 guys? 7 guys, okay! No, but seriously, I might want to change my formation a little. At the very least, I should bring Hongnu into the mix as well, right? It's just more fitting that way. Anyways, I don't really think any of those guys are going to have any sort of issues fighting off a couple of strangers, but at the same time, you can never be too careful. Right? They do have the added benefit of getting stronger if they ever have a chance to hit any of us, so you should be relatively mindful of that. And yeah, Otis, I need to get your SP up as quickly as possible. That one move is strong, but if you get a hit or a tail, it's kinda weak. Okay, let's go for another 119. 13 is good enough. 11 is a bit tricky, but good. 18 for better chances. That may or may not be enough to kill it. 71, 56, and another 23. Alright. Is that enough to kill it? Not quite, but we're getting there. I mean, they're barely alive, from the looks of it. Maybe the burn stacks are already... then again, burns don't really stack that well, unless it's just a singular enemy. It's fine, right? It is absolutely fine. Let's go for the Overbreath, followed up by Inner Gate. 15 is good enough to break through the shield, and 22 for additional damage. So, she's not gonna burn up, is she? Not yet. 19 is still safe. I always end up forgetting which burn count it was specifically when she's gonna explode. I think it was around 25, but it could also be 30. It was somewhere in between the 20 and 30 range. So I need to be a little bit careful with her now. Might want to go for the defenses for a while, but at the same time, do have a turn limit around here this time around, and there's still 8 more enemies for me to defeat. Instead of getting protective, I should probably just go all out. Yep. Let's just go all out, huh? Is that still fine? 30 plus. Yeah, this is fine. That doesn't add enough damage to burn her out. At least not yet. Oh, never mind! Might have overdid it! I overdid it! I overdid it, my girl! I miscounted the count! No! I just checked! Oh, I thought the yellow was just giving more count, but no. Okay, so yellow gives me the potency, the blue gives me additional count, and the red one gives me a lot of extra of both. It's oh well, it happens. At the very least, Sinclair is now here, right? Let's think positive. Sinclair with his music is going to inspire them all to fight even better than ever before. Okay, but hey, on the bright side, they're not going to last much longer anyways, right? All of our SP is already regained. Heathcliff is ripping them to shreds. Ishmael is kicking the ball. Stagger has been applied. I don't really know how strong Sinclair is going to be. His clash power is not really the greatest, but hey, he can lower their sanity and gain some poise on the way, right? Yeah, it could definitely be worse. It could definitely be a lot worse, actually speaking. For the fun of it, I'm even going to summon the wall, because I can. There we go. Not entirely sure if we even get a chance to see it, but it would be fun if we could bring out the whale. Okay, one is dead. Come on. Come on. Stagger. And the whale. Not the full power, but I take it. I have to say, this is still one of my favorite Eagles. Something about it is so great. Together with the thorns of Gregor. Wait, they are going to die this turn, right? It's just 3 enemies. Oh, that other guy is barely hurt at all. Never mind. That guy's a champ. Look at him go. He actually has a different color as well, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he has the same abilities and the same passives. I guess he's just a reskin then. There we go. Otis, give us a little bit of protection. And Rodion, finish the deal. Lovely to see. Ah, yeah. I need to remember a couple of gimmicks again. It's been a while since I used my burn team. Alright then. No more signs of enemy reinforcement, Executive Manager. Phew, at least there's an end to them this time. The guy that attacked us when we were first getting here were kind of endless, especially once the sweepers showed up. Well, that's because we were walking right into their traps. Shallow, but still. Anyways, Xingqiu appeared pretty hurt by that, didn't she? Honestly though, I get why she feels so betrayed. I mean, we just joined hands, we fought against an army of enemies together. We helped each other out through 2 different scenarios. The vampire camp, the sweepers. She probably thought she finally found an ally in her family. Oh well. And also, do you remember all those stories about Hungru's family that we heard? Imagine that you're one of their kids, thinking that you finally found like a potential ally in your own family, only for him to pretty much stab you in the back in the pretty much last minute and... Yeah, right? It was really awkward for me too, even though I wasn't even involved. Saudi chimed in nonchalantly, as though it wasn't her who pulled the plug on our alliance at the very last second. Anyways, where's our escort? I can't imagine that H-Corp can't afford to send us a guard with a palanquin right? If this family loved each other enough to send escort for their safety, I doubt they will be holding a cutthroat ceremony like the family hierarchy evaluation, right? It's a world where might makes right, where the strong prey on the weak. People won't even bat an eye if one of the dozens of candidates is found dead in some ditch on the road. I'm sorry, Honglu. I must have been running my mouth again without thinking about how that might sound, and someone usually stops me before I get to that part, which would be iffy, but... don't worry about it. You didn't really say anything wrong. It took me a while to realize that other families weren't really like this, but there's no reason to be upset by the way things are, right? But you should be, Honglu! You should be! You got robbed! You could have had a happy family life! But they all had to ruin it for each other! You should be angry! And the bell tolls. At the very least, we don't have to fight this time. I guess our ride was relatively peaceful, right? Our ride is probably peaceful. Wait, what is up with that metallic noise? The tolling of bells. Bell with the resonance unlike any of others, normally marked by their clarity. This bell is muddled, as if it tolls for ill fortune on the horizon. Wow, the bell sure is a resounding reminder that I'm home again. It's the bell that tolls every once in a while. You can hear it resonating from anywhere in Hong-Yuan. And what does it say? It's Restructing Day. What? Huh? But wait, the Restructing Day is already... She trailed off, unable to finish her sentence, as a brutal scene unfolds behind us. Whoa, are you guys seeing this? What happened? The buildings are all starting to shift again. It was as Ishmael said, the buildings, all tethered to a complex network of rails, were either rising or sinking into the earth. Movement has been observed from every building in the vicinity. Everything is changing again. The localizing shift of structure that we have observed yesternight was not as sweeping as this. What you saw last night must have been a premonition of the Restruction Day, notching some building to the position for a smoother overall redistribution of said space. Now this is the real deal. Huh? So that whole mess was just a premonition? It's remnants of old H-Corp that was here long before the current Hong-Yung. This structure has been here for a while, so we can't really quite know the nature or the purpose of its singularity. But at the moment, they shift based on current H-Corp's reconstruction standards. The world assembles, shifts overnight. Yet those who toil and toil have nothing to fear. Is it not joyous to have a place to rest your feet tonight? To those who weren't availed of fortune, this simply is the reality one has to bear. Only choice is to retreat in silence, to accept your fate as one might. Await the coming month, pondering how one might save their skin. How many shall plummet today, how many shall remain? Hold on to not all things too tight, for you may lose sight of when to let go, and fade ignorance when one must take flight. What? The peoples are flying! Okay! So the consequence of reassembling for the Invicted is literally an endless plummet, I see. What a terrible, distressing sight to behold, unable to do nothing to help. Is this another one of H-Corp's idiosyncrasies? Yeah, I don't really know about that. Didn't other nests also have their own measures for one's wealth? As T-Corps make use of time as their currency? Exactly. H-Cup's measurement of wealth in currency is based on how much space a person can own, measured by a scale that they call rooms. See. Yes, the measure of one's space is the measure of one's wealth, I see. Exactly. So once every month, the worth of each people's labor and quality of their incomes are measured to determine how much space they are assigned. So they can just get kicked out of their home for no reasons, if they can't afford it anymore. Just what kind of ridiculous kind of rule is that? Well, it might appear that way to outsiders like us, but the calculation behind these redistributions are meticulously designed to have been here for a long time. So it seems to me that everyone just accepts them as a natural part of their lives. Have you seen this happen in person too, Honglu? This Reconstruction Day? Oh, I have. Sometimes I would watch the cityscape from behind the railing of my room. It happened far, far away from me, but I could see it all very well. His expression remains tranquil and still as he calmly remembers. It was like then when he was merely watching the featureless sea passing him by. Dangwon-yan, my old home, was never too concerned about the Reconstruction Day. We would get more rooms some days, but we never, ever shrink. So I've never been affected by these Reconstruction Days at all. I only ever witnessed them as they happen beneath me, to rise in my room. So you are, fine. I doubt there's anything that you could have done, but you just sat on your hands and watched all of this just happen around you? Heathcliff trailed off, but I could see that he was gritting his teeth. I mean, what could he do? He was powerless at the moment. It is all in the possession of his family, right? Oh wait, another palanquin is about to arrive. And there's your right. I think we've chatted enough. So let's get you guys going, alright? This is a palanquin? Yep. Looks like they sent us a palanquin, large enough to comfortably seat a big crowd of people together. Young Master Jiao Baoyu and his 12th honored guest. Is that correct? Actually it's 13 to be exact. Oh, but I thought Saudi wasn't invited. Whoa, hold your horses there. I was told that young Master Baoyu's faction only had 12 people. Upon hearing that, Saudi began aggressively striding towards him, causing the palanquin bearer to shrink in fear. Whoa, slow down, my lady! We are 12 people. What is wrong with that? I mean, don't tell me that this thing looks like a normal, contributing member of a clan to you. What are you talking? What? Me? Oh, Saudi! Saudi grabbed my shoulder and presented me before the bearer like I'm some kind of product instead, and what? I mean, I guess that's pretty unique of a hit that you got there. I don't think I've seen anything like it found around Hongyong, but isn't that just a prosthetic in the shape of a clock? I guess, but still. I mean, let me ask you something. Can you imagine why anyone in their right mind would stick a freaking clock where their head is gonna be? Even if they were hurting for cash? Saudi? Oh no way, ma'am, never mind. They're way more versatile biomodification available here in Hongyuan than whatever the heck that job is. Nobody in their right mind would pick a clock like that and... Exactly, right? No idea what went down, but this fella here sure seemed to have fallen on hard times. Too bad that we live in a world where some misfortune can befall on honest souls like them. Boy oh boy, looks like this one's got scammed, and nasty scam too. To whatever back street they got that from, must have been a real scoundrel who did this. And look, even the clock isn't on time, and this poor person is barely conscious. Look, all they can do is make these weird ticking noises, because they can't, or rather they don't, even have a mouth to begin with. Saudi, what the hell are you doing right now? Seriously? Those things kinda hurt, but I decided to not take them at a face value. It was pretty obvious what she was trying to do here, but still, my pride! Somebody, please tell Saudi that I'm getting dizzy from this. Good grief, you weren't kidding! Who could do something so awful to a person like that? And it's a real blessing that our young Master Bayou got such a kind-hearted soul. He simply could not walk past the time-based embodiments, sending his human being like they're some sort of toy or tool. So he picked them up to get their head replaced in something proper in the future. Hong Yuan got more than enough resources for something like that, right? Oh, well, I guess you're not wrong there. It's really easy to swap out your whole body as long as you got cash to burn. What? Wait, a new head? For me? Right? See what I mean? So that is why they told you that young Master Boyon only had 12 people in this faction, including yours truly. Well, I can see your point, but we can't just let all of us on board, yes? Our young master fully understands the moral conundrum that you find yourself in, so we would like to offer you this tiny token of appreciation. What? Okay. She gave him a bill from her own pocket and smoothly slid them into the pelican bearer's own. Ah, man. Oh, man. My lady, my man. You really shouldn't do this. I really shouldn't. Oh, and another thing. I am sure I don't need to tell you this, but if a word of this gets out, things might get pretty messy for us both, alright? And it doesn't have to happen. Now, does it? Indubitably, ma'am. I'm doing this purely out of the goodness of my heart. After all, what's a free ride for a downtrodder, eh? Seems to me that the block is doing this purely out of interest for the fatness of his wallet. Alright then, stop gossiping over there and get on board. That was a smooth way of solving the situation. But why do you want to come along, Saudi? Wait! Are we really going to leave Pilot alone? Pilot seemed to have noticed me staring in his direction. He stopped fidgeting with the radio and waved at us. Don't worry about me. And have a safe trip over there. I've got some stuff to handle on the other side. Okay. Ooh, this design is more akin to an extravagant limousine than a palanquin. Oh look, a bottle of champagne too. Can I chuck this? Of course not! Drinking while on a mission is strictly prohibited and... Alright. Huh? With a quick clap, Saudi promptly put an end to the hubbub that the unexpected fleshy appearance of the palanquin caused. Her demeanor has shifted entirely into that of a calm and collected strategist, a far cry from the person who was shutting up a storm with the bearer just a minute ago. Well, time to get to work, everyone! To work? Here! In this palanquin, where we are moving to the house! I guess there's some stuff to discuss, huh? Now that we're in the limousine. In our private limousine. Before there are more disturbance. Alright, of course it couldn't be a smooth ride, right? Of course not. Then you will be. Wait! Something is going on outside. What about the strategy? Did you skip the strategy again? Ah, come on! Not long after Saudi paused over Otis' remark, a grating speaker whine rings out, followed by the worried voice of the bearer on the outside. We're under attack! Oh, and I thought things were finally going a little easier here. It's no surprise that other candidates are trying to eliminate us, just in case. Why am I not surprised about this? Saudi looks like a devil there. But she kinda hates to be disturbed, so I can kinda get that. Wait, it's just the strangers again. Just the strangers? How many this time? Can I see it? Can't even see it. Alright, let me just get rid of this disturbance really quickly. There we go. Perfect job, everyone. This time around, Faust didn't die either. But their counter gets extremely high, extremely quick. But to be fair, I kinda have to do that like this. We have a 10-turn time limit after all. Need to go all out. Always risk explosion. Probably for the best. It seems like we're about to explode again, because those guys just don't know when to quit. There's literally a burning butterfly heading in your direction who may or may not explode at any second, and you just keep on fighting. Is that wise? Probably not. But you guys have to do whatever you need to do, right? Oh, yeah. There we go. Perfect. If they survived one more round, I would have probably went for the explosion skill. Faust's all-powerful explosion skill is really, really strong. The most decks they have. So if you go for a last resort, it's absolutely worth it. Okay. Oh, look at that. Pretty. Is this the main building? Oh, it might be. The Petals. Alright. Entering Dagwan Yuan now. Despite some trouble on the way, it seems that we managed to arrive at our destination, mostly unhurt. Pretty. But where's exactly the main building? It seems like this might be just a side palace thingy, or just a gate. There's so many rooms. Duang Yuang, Honglu's old home. Oof, I guess we're running out of time. Faust, I'm sure you understand the most important part of my plan, right? Which plan? Oh, come on, Saudi! It is unlikely to be a pleasant sight to behold. Remember, the plan hinges on your patience, everyone. You have to remain calm and wait, even if they freak out and actively try to kill you. What? There is a chance that they might panic and immediately order for the sinner to be executed on the spot. However, it is unlikely that the person whose responsibility is to judge the next family hierarch of Hong Yuan will make such a hasty response. What kind of plan do you have that would execute us on the spot? Exactly. Everything is going to be fine, as long as the decider has the capacity for patience. Execution? What? Oh great, I will follow up with the subsequent contact once you've safely completed your first round evaluation. What? What was that about? After that cryptic exchange with Faust, Saudi leaped gracefully off the moving palanquin as Heathcliff murmured in his half-sleep. We watched her grow smaller and smaller as the distance between us grew. But what really caught our eye were the scattered humans that the Reconstruction Day has evicted from their homes. They were trying to drag their broken bodies off the road, sobbing and writhing. This is horrible. There isn't anything that we can do to help them, but such sense of futility and powerlessness will negatively impact the efficient performance of your professional obligations. Repeated exposure to similar stimulants is recommended to desensitize oneself of this sensation. I don't think he would want that, Massault. So anyways, Honglu, how do you feel about going back home after so long, Sinclair changed the subject. I don't know. Don't even need to ask him, lad. I know it can be easy. As for me, Blimmy, I hesitated almost 1,000 times, wondering if I should just turn around and leave. What if I knock on the gate, but she wouldn't open, huh? Yeah, I mean, you did kind of leave in a haste. You didn't even say your goodbyes. Maybe you thought that she would be angry at you before all the other stuff has happened. Heathcliff came to a suffocating stop. His voice trembled lightly as he did. The other sinner stared at him in confused silence. What is it? Why did you stop in the middle of a... Anyways, you guys don't remember and we shall not dwell on that. Wow, look at those cool windows, right? I think we can swap them out with other images and... I quickly tried to sway from the subject again, but all that I got was Ishmael's scolding glare that seemed to wordlessly tell me that it is not the time. I remember what happened each time one of us returned to the part of the city that held our memories. Memories of happiness, anger, sorrow, and joy. And as we travel, I remember that they were all looking at sceneries that only they could see. Rhodia, you awkwardly tried your best to crack jokes back then. Sinclair, you tried your best to hold back the welling tears, again and again. You sang, you shut your eyes for a long, long time. Ishmael, you couldn't stop talking to yourself while glaring down at the lake's surface back then. And Heathcliff, I saw that you're scared and anxious, shaping your hair over and over again. You've really been watching us closely, huh? Of course. Wait, did we? Spring leaves, Petals scatters, and all shall turn around to find doors to which they belong and return forevermore. I think everyone has a small amount of petals that they gather for themselves. What? Why would anyone collect something like that? Then you simply haven't discarded them yet. There was still a transparent smile on his face, but I think I saw a burrowing, sinking shadow behind it. Oh! Memory time! The moment I felt that, a familiar light came into view, and I immediately understood what was going on. The golden burrow is close, and it is resonating with Hong Lu's fathom. They watched the flower burrow of mine, and mocked me. Who laid me to rest once I die? When spring passes, youth pass, as sprinkles share us all away. Flowers pass, people pass, and ignorant they remain to where they hide. Why do you always recite these strange, complicated poems, you? Said his brother, perchance? Well, there are plenty of ways to remain young, aren't they? Because we needn't see the snow in our hair to know that spring will pass. Then why are you cleaning up those fallen petals? Just float them away down streams. You will get your hands dirty and be so wasteful. How will we have the sound of falling rain once we sweep all the patterns away? This is a remembrance of a rainy day, so I'm going to treasure it. Besides, these beautiful blossoms will get so dirty in the stream if we just let them float away like that. So please, don't scatter all the petals from your embrace, big brother Hong Lu? Is there anyone that you miss here at Dangguan Yuan? No, there isn't. But how's that possible? Isn't your family here? And a bunch of other people who are so important to you, right? Maybe not. Well, as long as I believe them to be doing well, there isn't really any need for me to yearn to see them again. Oh. Do you still treasure your petals? No. I scattered them all the day that I departed my home. So my rainy days are now silent. I see. You saw that, didn't you, Dante? You saw my memory. I did. Hong Lu laughed. He wasn't surprised or angry that I peered into his mind. Do you want to tell us about your parents at least? Or, yeah, you talked about your grandmother pretty often, right? What kind of a person are they? Sinclair added carefully. Maybe he was trying to commiserate. Tenacious as the connection might be, we were heading towards his home to meet his family anyway, so it's probably best for us to know at least a little bit about them. They're both pretty wise in the way of the world. Grandmother always treats me preciously. So did my mother and my father. We're almost there. I can see the garden from here. So this is one massive garden, huh? We still have some time before we get to the main building. I remember the days when deers and hares would frolic out here in the garden. Such a nice time, huh? Well, I can see myself taking a long walk around here. It would take a whole day and then some to cover the entire ground. I usually linger only around my own room. It's dangerous to stray too far, after all. Wait, it's dangerous? Why that? There's the stranger danger, getting lost, getting targeted, and besides, it's very dark at night. Well, that ain't a very big deal, is it? Kids run around, scraping their faces on branches, trip and eat shit off the pavement all the time. Maybe not around here, Heathcliff. Yeah, I'm sure you would have run freely around the garden, Heathcliff, but it's important to always be careful. When I was 5, someone had laddered a deadly poison on a random tree branch. A deadly poison? I had a little brother who liked to frolic like you do, Heathcliff. But by some coincidence, he happened to be running around the same tree that had the branches laden in poison. What had transpired thereafter? I'm sure that he got better. Shinran told me that he was just fine after 100 nights of rest. And because Shinran was always so smart, I'm sure it happened exactly as she told me. 100 nights? Fighting against poison? Well, yeah, good to know. At the very least he didn't die, huh? Wonder what those petals were all about. Emotions, memories, his own little treasures, attachments, probably. A summary of everything that he ever cared about, huh?